Welcome back to another Roundtable session hosted by Furlough. And in today's episode, we're covering the power behind partnerships, where we uncover the secrets to scaling your business through partnership channels. And I'm very excited to introduce our remarkable host, my partner, and the co founder of Furlough, Miss Rosalind Fons. And joining her in this event, some incredible minds within the Furlough ecosystem, such as of course, Jensen Gisborne, VP of Sales and Partnerships of Romaine Berg. Trevor Longino, founder and CEO of Crowd Tamers. Jacob Bowman, founder of Bowman Consulting. Brett Lucarelli, Chief Operating Officer of Latency. And Ophir Gadot, one of the co-founders here at Furlough. And some of the questions we're going to cover is how do you identify potential partnership opportunities that align with your business goals and your target audience? What strategies do you employ to identify and collaborate with influencers who can help promote your product or services to a wider audience? How do you approach channel partnerships to expand your reach and access new markets? How can technology and platform partnerships help scale a business, especially in a digital landscape? This session is originally streamed to a live audience that's able to ask questions to our guest every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, this event is sponsored by Digital.wtf, home of the work from home fit. And as always, replays are available 24 hours after the session concludes at furloughtv.com. Lastly, of course, don't forget to join 20,000 other professionals in our Discord. Our Discord is vibrant, it's loud, it is action-packed, value-packed, and of course, we host a ton of other events just like this one exclusively in the Discord. So don't forget to join at discord.gg/furlough.
Hello, everyone. Great to see you all. I will be starting off the discussion today. I want to ask the panel today, how do you actually go about identifying potential partnership opportunities that actually align with your business goals and your target audience?
Honestly, one of the biggest things that I'm a huge proponent of, it's something that everyone should always be doing, is just reaching out to interesting people and letting them know they're interesting. A lot of people always go out and they're looking for the people who are going to do the most for them. But what ends up, you don't know who the people who are going to do the most for you are. All you can do is go and identify interesting people in niches that are relevant to what you're doing and talk to them. Have a conversation with what they're going on with, what they're doing, what they're all about, and be interested in what they're interesting. It's amazing how quickly people open up to you when you're willing to do that.
I think when you are approaching just the idea of partnerships in general, there are three categories of partnership you can consider. There's an informal one. There's a person who might refer you on. There's a formal one with somebody who maybe has some kind of affiliate or partnership referral agreement. And then there's a platform level one where you say, hey, I'm not just working with a dude or a gal. I'm working with some marketplace with a lot of people. And then there's even more structured and formalized agreements.
I think every channel of growth you have, paid or organic, can become a partnership channel. At least this is my approach. So if I'm just giving you a few examples, if I want to sell on Amazon, I can bring a team, I can start a store on Amazon, I can get everything in place, or I can go to someone who is a really good merchant on Amazon, and let's have share on this. So there's a lot of ways to approach it. I'm just saying everywhere there's value, there's partners you can build and partnerships you can establish.
My approach to partnerships is looking at it from a selfless perspective instead of a selfish perspective. I think any partnership you go into, if you're looking at it in terms of what is in it, like what is in it for me, how am I going to benefit? How am I going to be able to make money off of this? You really lose out on the value aspect, and you really lose out on your potential partner's capabilities and what they're able to do for you. And you lose out on a lot of potential there. So I think looking at it from a selfless perspective and approaching it that way is very important.
Let's just say you're in the position where you're in the giving space and there's not any sort of a written contract. How do you know when the right time to ask is?
Once I've delivered a clear piece of value, or a few, once I've done something that is more concrete, that's when you start to say, okay, I've delivered some value here. You can see I can bring you value. I would like to see the return. I've given you something that's more useful than just blah. You've made X $1,000 now. Hey, how do we make sure that we're scratching each other's back. One hand washes the other, whatever visual analogy you want. I've led now with enough value where I think it's fair to ask for something back.
I do this exercise with a lot of people, especially after I've done a meet and greet, where it's very similar to almost like playing chess against yourself. One of the best things you can do, and one of the greatest networking skills a person can cultivate, is understanding the value of another person very quickly. Having a conversation with them, sitting down and understanding what it is that they see as their own value that they're bringing to the table as fast as possible. Because then on the second meeting, before you get to that second meeting, you can go through all the mental calculus that's required to understand how they might see you as valuable, which is an enormously effective skill. A lot of people I speak with, a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs actually vastly undervalue what they're bringing to the table. And when they do this, what ends up happening is they get into, not to downplay what Trevor was saying at all, I completely support the whole givers get mentality. That's a great way to go about things. But there's a break-even point that sometimes people will miss because they're undervaluing what they're bringing to the table.
A very indirect way of figuring out how impactful you are to a partnership is understanding, why does this person want to work with me? Why are they eager to work with me? What do I possess that they're lacking? Because if someone is actively trying to approach you, right, especially in a partnership, if someone's approaching you for a partnership, you have something that they are genuinely interested in that they're either lacking or they don't have at all. And so when you can place yourself into their shoes and say, okay, if this was my business and I was having these pain points and I was approaching a person similar to this, how valuable would this person be to my business?
Think about two different lines. You have the negotiation line and you have the value line, right? And every deal, every partnership, there's certain value that is being created from the partnership, right? So the balancing point of the negotiation will always be splitting it, right? If I'm bringing you traffic and you're making money out of sales, let's split the revenues. That's like flat when, in case both parties are equal negotiation wise and they both have the same knowledge of the value being created in the partnership. Okay? But reality is that every party has different negotiation points, right? So just to put it, I get your approach, Trevor, and I like it, like the giver's mentality and building off of that. But I also know the more aggressive point of playing this game. And I can play in a way that, listen, taking 5% more of all my partnership deals is a big money for me as a business.
We do have a couple more questions to get through. I know Himanshu has another one, and we do have one from Discord as well. But the first one we've got is, what are your thoughts on pricing plans? Does it have an impact on the scalability of a business, especially when the product is very small?
I think it does not.
That's it? Just one sentence?
I've seen companies grow with pricing lists and without. That's a fact. So it could be a con if the pricing is off. Yes, it could be a pro when the pricing is really good and explained well and the page is good. No, it doesn't matter. You can bring shitloads of business without a pricing page as well.
I'm going to have to disagree with Afir. I think it does matter depending on what the costs of your solution are, right? Because I've worked with SaaS companies where they can have unlimited users because it's very low cost for them. They can at a one price stop, and maybe they don't actually want to a la carte certain features on their platform because some features are more expensive to have users on than the other.
I'd start with something simple because it's hard to screw up simple. Almost every startup, I talk to 10 founders a week. I'm part of a bunch of accelerators. Double your prices. Like, I could just start every call with that and I would probably be right. Because founders always undervalue, as Jensen was saying, right? We always undervalue our side of the equation. You can all double your prices and they'll probably have a better margin to survive things like, oops, I didn't count my hard cost in. But I think if you're building that fundamentally you haven't totally screwed up your pricing, simple pricing, small pricing shouldn't affect your scalability. If you've screwed it up, then it will. But then the problem wasn't the pricing. The problem was your business model was bad.
Well, we do have another question coming up. When starting out, or if you're a small company, I find it's more difficult to build meaningful partnerships. What is your advice on how to overcome this problem?
This was an unknown brand in the US. And when I was leading their US operations, we brokered deals between Kings Neon and the NFL Draft, Andretti Autosports, Hulu, Live Nation. These are big names. And honestly, it was funny that All that was really required was carpet bombing every single person involved with that organization with messages until someone responded to you. And then once you get them on a call face to face, just going, hey, this is what we are, this is what we do, and this is how we can help you. We're willing to go above and beyond to make this work. And I think we're going to make the process the best for you.
I like this comment, but I think this is to focus on the less important thing. And the most important thing for a new business and the biggest challenge in partnership is trust, right? Because nobody knows you. Nobody knows you, nobody cares about you, nobody want to push you, right? So this is the biggest challenge, right? How am I building that authority and trust? So one way obviously is being super nice and accommodating and making that partnership flows frictionless for them. And again, it comes back to the basics. Your negotiation power just dropped. This means you want to go post payment. This time, I think you want to consider prepayment. You want to do 12 months commission. This time, consider 24 months or maybe even lifetime. You want to give a certain tracking solution to your partners.
I think in the beginning stages of partnerships, you're always going to overpay. And I think there's two things to watch out for. One, just because you're a small fish in the ocean, you don't have to go after these whale companies for partnerships, right? That doesn't necessarily deem that you have a successful partnership just because you've partnered with a really strong company.
You don't necessarily need to go broad to make a lot of money. We do have a question from Eric. When you engage in partnerships, what is your opinion on exclusivity deals? Is this something that you should take advantage of?
Let's say I could only exclusively be friends with people in this panel. Let's say that one of the people, we start having issues over time. There's no way that I can do anything with that. I have to absolutely stick with them. So when Trevor's sitting here beating the Manhattan real estate into me and I don't want to hear it anymore, I have no choice. I have no choice. I can't go anywhere. I don't like exclusivity.
I want to just throw something out there about exclusivity deals. Here's the thing. Just because you're a small business doesn't mean you always need to operate from like this submissive dog laying on their back with the legs in the air position. You don't have to operate from that position all the time. So if you are truly bringing value, again, this is about understanding your value, understanding their value, right? You can actually, and I've done this, I've had this conversation with people before. You can actually come to a table and demand their exclusivity to whatever it is you're providing, and then frame it as the primary benefactor of that exclusivity is them. I'm taking this off your plate. But that's the conversation. I'm coming to you to take this off your plate. You're not saying I'm only going to take things off your plate.
I'm personally a big fan of exclusivity deals, and I price it specifically. I understand what I'm going into, and again, if it works, it works. If not, you're killing it.
I like that we have different views.
For sure.
A friendly debate is always good. I think with exclusivity, it's really important that everybody has the same sort of ethos and moral value. In what ways can partnerships and affiliations help to build brand awareness, enhance credibility and reputation, and drive business growth for a branding agency and its clients? And what metrics should be used to evaluate the success of these efforts over time?
One way to measure is if you're on a big marketplace and you're trying to see, is there an effect of me being there? Look for your branded term plus their branded term as Google searchers. Are they going up? If so, that means some of that halo effect is sticking to your brand. People are looking for you. And if they're not, one, either they may be too small for Google searches to be happening, or maybe the association is too weak. But those are there are ways you can measure on this. Also, like every call I have booked with the client, or when I'm having a software product to sign up for, where did you hear about me? People are wrong at least half the time when they fill that out, but it's still better than nothing. You can start to see there's some association happening there.
At the end of the day, it's going to be a sales metric. And being transparent about that with your partner is going to benefit you in the long run. Don't be timid because you think you're giving them a great deal and you need to be the blushing bride here. Come to the table selling your business and go to bat for your organization 100% of the time.
A quick tip. Luck accrues to those of us who take multiple turns at bat, right? Serendipity is the primary driver of luck. And the more opportunity you have to discover a partnership, the more chances you will have to have a good partnership. So your CEO, your marketer, your whatever, you have 500 things to do right now. Finding time for something that is maybe not your immediate top of mind need, like a partnership, feels like it's the right choice. It may be, but if you don't try every month, get 5 people who you talk to who might be a partner, or 5 orgs you can talk to that might be partners, you're never going to find the opportunity that really does make a difference for you. Keep getting up to the plate. Keep going to bat. You will find something that delivers you value.
As an early company, again, sacrifice money over time. Your time is very valuable. It's very thin. It's going to be spread across multiple areas. So when it comes to a partnership, again, sacrifice money over time, always.
I just want to stress when we're dropping off how big partnership channels are, how important they are, how much value comes out of them, and how often business and brands just they opt into different channels, sales, and then Google Ads. But partnership, believe it or not, we're responsible for 20% all the way to 50% of majority of brands out there. So go in for partnerships, do the efforts that's needed. It's worth it.
If you're looking to expand your network and you're looking to find out where those good partnerships are, it's as easy as just going on LinkedIn and messaging interesting people. Like, you don't know before you speak with someone what their value is to you. So get out there. I'm actually going to give everyone listen to this. This is the DM. Here, send this DM to people. Hey, I really like what you got going on. I'd love to take 15 minutes and get to know you better. It's not a sales call, LOL. Just send that to 100 people a day. You'll get tons of people who want to talk to you, and you have no idea where the biggest opportunities could come out of.
I love it. Thank you all so much for coming. No matter what platform you're watching us from, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube, and make sure, if you're not already following us on LinkedIn, go and give us a follow. Our next event will actually be an agency training all about growth hacking, and we will have this replay available tomorrow.